welcome everybody. This is Grid. Grid is a national investor network we like to bring together here at a hyper-local level across the United States. This is a chance for us all to learn and grow together. Like you say, we're not here just to be like gurus, to pontificate on high. We're just real people doing real deals in real time, sharing our experiences with you. Trusting you're going to share your experiences with us.
We believe that deals, information are best found at the hyper-local level. I think there's no substitute for that of like understanding a niche market, because would anybody agree, right? The market in Strawberry Plains is not the market in Loudoun, is not the market right down in Philadelphia. It's not the market in East Knoxville. So hyper-local information, and I think the best way to do that is through community, right? And who's gotten some value at being a part of this community? Who's met some good people in here?
Love that.
Right? Yeah, I'm very proud. If you're new here, we have a great culture. I think that's what distinguishes us from any of the other investor meetups you might go. And it's a culture that I have the privilege of going around the country and opening new Grid communities. I'm headed to March St. Patrick's Day. We are launching Grid Chicago. They're going to do one with like 6 different locations. This guy, Alex Corona, check him out online. He is a Tasmanian devil of pure energy. So I think we have a great culture of people that come from contribution, right? Because we know that that's one way you build social capital, you build trust, everything gets easier. So if you're curious why we do this, it is because by simply leading this community, it brings us deals, it brings us talent for the team, it brings us capital. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Let's celebrate some wins, some shout outs. Right. Who's got a win they'd like to celebrate? Who's got somebody they'd like to shout out, send some love that they've connected with here in this community? Love it. Thank you, Nathan.
So Pete came here in the fall, right, talking about how to save on taxes. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Really fascinating masterclass. We talked about Delaware statutory trusts. We talked about 1031s. We talked about opportunity zones. Talked about the future value of money. That's one of my biggest takeaways from that one. Was just talking about like the value you get from saving taxes now and investing that and paying taxes later with inflated dollars. Huge. One of the biggest things in investing, like saving on taxes, can make a lot of deals look better. Awesome. You got some projects going too, don't you? Awesome. We're gonna hear from Nathan's partner later. Who else? Lance, where are you at? Okay. Oh, Nathan, you're gonna do Lance's win. Yeah, Lance went to go see Cheap Trick. So everybody, we're gonna make a post. We'll wish Lance a very happy birthday and ask him about the Cheap Trick concert if you have Lance's number. If you don't have Lance's number, I'll be happy to give it to you. And you can ask
Put
him.
it up on screen. Here we go.
Yes. Nathan, what was the win Lance was going to share? Brandon's going to be on stage tonight? Yep. Awesome. Thank you. That's sick. Fantastic. Chad had a win. If I talk to you about a win before the meeting, I'm going to call on you, so you make it easy for me. Thank you. Chad. Yeah, our boy Garrett slid over on there. He's been crushing it, man. Great guy. Awesome. I love to hear that. Sick. Awesome. Anybody else feeling inspired? Yes, Tony.
Yeah, just jumped in with MRG Realty Partners. Started this week doing that, and I've already made some great connections. I've been coming already, but some connections on that.
Tony, what are you doing? What specific part of real estate are you focusing in?
Boutique real estate, multifamily, duplexes all the way down.
On the commercial side. So I want to throw that out because there's a lot of realtors in here, not many commercial realtors in here, right? It's like you and like Lisa are the commercial agents that come here typically. So awesome. That's exciting, Tony. Fantastic. All right. Yes, Amber. Thank you.
Glad to have you.
That's awesome. I love it. Sick. Important to celebrate wins. I was just talking about Psycho-Cybernetics. If you haven't read it, go read it. But what it talks about, one of the things is like one of the best ways to change your identity. And if you're here to learn how to invest, you are going on an identity journey, right? I'm going from being an employee to a business owner, right? And it's, hey, imagine moments of success and then visualize this thing. That's the short version of it. Go check it out. It's one of the seminal works on self-image and psychology, but like that's why we celebrate wins. It's going to make you more receptive to experiencing a change tonight.
That's right. Yeah.
Sick.
Want to do a couple giveaways, right? Who thinks they've probably traveled the farthest getting here today? Traveled the farthest. Everybody. All right, Hardin Valley.
Thank you,
Further than
Trav. Hardin Valley. Halls.
it
Can
is.
anybody? We got a Halls. Dalton, what do you got? Gatlinburg.
Right.
Awesome. JP. Nashville. Zach, farther than Nashville? Sevierville, I like it. Nashville going once. Nashville going twice. Give them a prize. Somebody won, Corey.
We. Connect with We, raise your hand.
We right
We's going to
there.
be my prize giveaway person, so please see We. We got a whole bunch of swag we
We
can
got
give
some
away.
swag. Coffee
Thank you, man.
cups, tumblers, hats, shirts.
Thank you much, right? Really, what we're going to take a point in here, like this is an opportunity. We'd request, go ahead, take a picture, tag us on social. We's monitoring that. Tag Grid Knoxville, hashtag Grid Knoxville. The reason why we say this, right? We see plenty of people like in this space, and a lot of their deal flow just comes purely by just online. Telling your database and the people that already know you, like you, trust you, tell them what you're looking for. Tell them what you're doing.
What I can share from being the people on stage is when you take a photo in this room, it gets a lot more interest than just like a regular selfie. People will be like, what is that thing? What are you doing? Why are all these people here? And if you want to like check out what this looks like, go to Elena Beatty here, does a good job. And our friend Haley, the hiking investor, both do excellent jobs on social media of branding themselves and attracting business through social media by simply just talking about doing stuff like this. So if you want to go, tell everyone you know. You're also psychologically much more likely to achieve your goals if you share them with other people. Science.
Yeah, science. Yep. So go for it. We'll be monitoring that. We'll do some giveaways here at the end as well.
Sick. Yes. All right. Who's new today?
Yeah, brand new. Show of hands. First time.
Awesome.
Don't be shy. Love that.
Awesome.
Welcome. A little round of applause.
Who thought this was going to be a lot smaller?
Yeah.
Who's a little intimidated? Anybody? Do I have any introverted investors here that don't want to?
Right.
Don't raise your hand if you're an introverted investor. I guess would be the smarter way to do this, right? Not thinking. Not thinking here. Sick. We got a couple of vendors here that are here for the first time. So I've been doing some work. Ivan, want to raise your hand? Ivan's been doing some work for me. He came in on a project I have in Clinton, and I found out once I put the driveway in that now I have a drainage problem. So Ivan came in and put 2 French drains in for me. Did amazing work, on time, on budget, full service contractor. You know, get Ivan's information. Anybody else who's new here that's at a service they provide they might want to talk about? Cool. Brian, yes. Yeah. Drone pilot, yes. So Brian is a drone pilot. Awesome. Good. Fantastic. Yeah. Don't sleep on, like, drones can help sometimes when you're trying to get your head around a property, like being able to see it from the air. Like, yes, I see him. Sick. Thank you. That's actually, the notary jumped out at me. Like, having a notary in your back pocket is a pretty,
super handy.
Can come in handy.
Yeah,
at the last minute.
Big time for sure.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Doris.
Fantastic. Hey, on the team, by the way, who has a win? Trav?
Hey.
Let's go. Let's go. Sure. Sick. All right. Quick thank you to the sponsors. Morgan, I'll jump up here real fast. You got to win, Vernon, while they're walking up here? If you're a sponsor, come on up real fast. Let's go.
Congrats, Vernon.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Daniel, come on up here. What do you do? Tell the people.
What do? I'm Daniel. I do the things you don't want to do. I manage long-term rentals. And a lot of them. And I deal with all of your anger and the tenants. So I own Stonebrook. Reach out. I have a QR code back there if you want to meet me. Thanks.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thanks, dude.
Appreciate you. Mortgage designer. Okay.
And I do the
love
things
that.
that people even want to do less, which is mortgages. No one wants to talk about them. No one wants to do them. I do them. I try to do them at a high level. I do the long ones, not the short ones like Nate. Turn to Nate for all your short ones. I handle all the long mortgages. And I can do pretty much anything. I had a couple wins with grid members in here last month. If you need equity, if you need fast cash out of your house for buying things in cash, that can happen. You know, I got any sort of scenario that you got that's long-term financing or on property that you already own, holler at me.
Thank you,
you, dude.
Morgan. Nate with Approach.
Approach lending, private money lender, investment properties, right? Short-term financing, fix and flips, fix and holds with the long-term or the takeout financing. We don't do, others in the room do. Come to us for those needs, that kind of deal. So.
Awesome.
Thank you, brother.
Glad you're here, brother. Sick. All right, let's get started. Let's kick this thing off. We are excited, but first we should tell you that the state of Tennessee wants to be very clear that realtors have a very limited purview. We're both real estate agents. We're in a real estate sales team here. We are not experts on investing. We're not experts on contracting. We're not experts. We're not lawyers. We're not attorneys. We're not tax professionals. So the information you get here, we're going to give you a framework on how to estimate these things. Talk to professionals. Like if I can give you one piece of advice that investors don't seem to follow, it's ask more questions and get more advice. Like I ask a million questions and I've been doing this 20 years because it saves me. Like
Things change so much.
I just try to stay stupid and it's been a very effective strategy.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
That's right.
Corey, that's another disclaimer here.
Yeah, that's right. So it should go without saying, but we'll say just making some assumptions, right? You should never, ever go to buy a property just completely sight unseen. There should always be some kind of due diligence, some kind of review period. Really, the goal here today is we're going to be talking about delivering a framework is just to help you prioritize your investing moves so that you can have a clear framework to underwrite deals versus having to drive all over creation just to go look at something.
Fantastic. So why do we do this, right? Well, we don't have the time to look at every single deal that we're presented with. And if that's not a reality, then you may probably are not looking at enough deals, right? Because all of this ends up being like a sales cycle game if you're investing at scale. Whatever you're doing, it's just like deal flow becomes the thing. And it can vary depending on the project you're on. So we don't have the time. So I need a quick and dirty framework, right? For me to decide, oh man, am I going to go, which one of these, there's 3 that came across my desk. Which one am I going to go look at?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Through that though, right, we should also be able to look at this as, well, what's my risk tolerance for this? I really want to go take on something that needs a whole lot of work that's pretty obviously a pretty heavy duty remodel, or do I need to stick to something light? Do I need to bring in a partner, somebody who's done this before so that I'm not just the one going at it alone? And then just what's my plan B? What's my other exit on this? If we're looking at something as a fix and flip, can you afford to keep it as a hold? Like, does it make sense does it actually cash flow as a long-term rental without getting extra creative? Just could I turn around, refinance it, put some people in there, and it still makes sense?
The name of the game in real estate investing is how do we avoid loss, right? There's a ton of focus on making big gains, especially because we've lived through these crazy boom markets, right? Where everyone's making these huge rips. And it's how do I avoid loss? That's so like talking through, if you're not clear on those things, let's just chat. Like we're here as a resource, but let's chat a little bit because the other thing, Corey, is about reserves. Let's talk about that. We've had some projects take longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Do you have just enough reserves like in the bank to cover, to help float your draws, like pay your contractors? Contractors want to get paid. Work's done. It's Friday. They're punching out. They want to get paid. You need to have some money. Maybe your draw is going to come next week. Do you have some cash to be able to float them? Do you have the ability to pay insurance, utilities over an extended period of time? I mean, factor 4 to 6 months needs to be like your minimum reserves that you've got aside before going to take on any project.
So we're using other people's money, and yet I still either have access like an equity partner in a deal or something like that where I want money where I'm using the draws retroactively. right? Where it's not holding up the work. Because what happens then is, oh man, I ran into the draw process. It holds it up. I got to go push my contractor. Now I lost my plumber for 2 weeks. This starts cascading, right? And that's how my timeline goes from 3 months to 6 months pretty quickly, or just things like that. I've just seen it again and again. It doesn't take a lot, even if you're experienced, to get off track.
Yeah. Yeah. One little thing can totally cascade and go a lot further.
We had Corey wrote an entire, basically another grid session about determining value. Would anyone want us to do that as a separate Zoom call where we go through all the details? Like, how do you determine ARV? Yes, no. Okay,
Perfect.
cool. We're going to skim over this just because like it really, as like we could just spend 30 minutes on these slides without really going too crazy. It's just a lot. We were talking about a bunch of different factors here. So one of the most important things though, right, Corey, is like, how do I know what it's going to be worth after I finish the renovations?
Yeah, that's right. You got to have some kind of benchmark as to how you're going to, as to what you're aiming for, and making sure we're not necessarily over improving for what's there.
So just broadly, there's 4 things to look at there, right? When we're looking at comps, we look at comps like appraisers look at comps. Appraisers don't use price per square foot, right? They find similar properties. That's what they're called, comparable sales. And then they make adjustments. So they're looking for stuff that's the same or similar house type. What else are you looking for, Corey?
Yeah, same or similar neighborhood, same or similar school district.
School district can be a big one, right? Because you're like, why is there this delta? Well, because this one's Farragut and right across the street is a different school district. And there is a definite difference in property value sometimes correlated with school district, right?
That's right. Ultimately, like recently sold is going to be your biggest one. Like what's actively sold out there. Yesterday's sale is a lot better than the one that sold a week ago, is a lot better than the one that sold a month ago, 6 months ago, etc.
Yes.
They're going to look for that most recent, closest, kind property they can find.
Awesome. Travis, Vernon, raise your hands. Anybody meet Amanda and RJ out front when they came in? Lovely people. Great. We are happy to help look at ARV for you. Call us. We will run comps. Even if you don't use me, I would rather that you got good comps than watch you call me later when you've bought something you shouldn't have bought. That is very frustrating. Yep. And the last thing, just real quick, when we're looking at comps, actives are not comps. So just because I tell you all the time, oh, this guy's got one listed for 400 across the street. That is not what's sold. Yeah. Appraisers are looking at what's sold.
Yeah,
I don't look
reality.
At actives are important for like my competition.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about value, we'll talk about that of how do we look at competition and seasonality and what's happening in the industry. All right.
That's right.
Sick.
Yeah, for sure.
So the reason we say that on the ARV is because working backwards from that ARV is really going to determine what kind of renovations you make. Right, Corey?
Yeah, that's right. 100%. Like it's not about over improving for the sake of over improving. Like know what your exit's going to be, understand what price points you're working in. Ultimately, when we're adding value, we're doing a couple of things. We're either enhancing the livability of the space, we're adding some kind of square footage, finishing in a garage, finishing in some space that would otherwise be unfinished. But really just I would say strongly consider your price point without just like over improving, right? Do you really need to have the stone countertops and tile backsplash if we're sub 300, like in this market?
And
Probably not.
So much of what I look at is just like, I think about Hondas a lot when I'm doing flips. I have a flip coming right now. Everything under the hood on a flip that I do runs well, right? I've taken care of all of those things and I know how to sell it to the market, right? So then if I do all that, you're going to see some of this, maybe I don't need to spend some things on the vanity metrics, right? But what are the things that would be very difficult for a first-time buyer who maybe is my exit, who's shopping on the basis of like, what's the most house I can qualify for on my down payment, right? Looking on a payment basis, they will pay whatever they can qualify for if I can show the value to them. Like, but it'd be very difficult for them, like, man, a $1,500 fix might be a quarter of their down payment, right, Courtney?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So
it might seem small to us, but like in their perspective, it's huge. And so some of those instances, it can make sense to make the investment.
But they can come in here and like, hey, on your own, you can fix the counters. On your own, you can, and I'm comfortable in educating my buyer on that, right? Of like, can I come in and can I address the underlying issues that you would have difficulty addressing, which is why I put that French drain in, right? Instead of like hoping it's going to be dry, I know like, hey, I'm going to explain to you why I did this because long-term that would have been a real challenge for you. You can go, right, upgrade the ceiling fans or something.
Yeah,
Although I did that
100%.
too.
Yeah, biggest thing, just remember, like, it's not your house, right? So spraying for the extra widgets because we've got a we've got a client who put this really awesome like safe room under the house, like in the basement. It's like a John Wick style like safe. You walk in, just decided to do it. Just like we asked him, like, why'd you put this there? He's like, oh, I just thought it was cool. Like, all right, probably not where I would have gone and spent all that extra cash.
I forgot
Sure.
about the safe room.
Yeah, so to me, like, remember, it's not yours. He thought it'd be awesome. It's great. Like, find some value, but like, practically, no, man. People don't like. Not everybody wants the whole like John Wick setup. Like, it's just not gonna move the needle all that much. You could have saved thousands and thousands of dollars by not doing that.
And if you're not clear on that, that is where, like, honestly, right? Realtors are subject matter experts. We've got some very smart ones in here, right? That can really give you some ideas. Where's Lauren? So I don't know where Lauren Farmer went. There it is. So Lauren has given me a tremendous advice. Some of her flips on value engineering, on like, how do I pick fixtures that look like they're a Delta fixture or look like they're a visual comforts fixture, but they're not, right? And how do I do things that give the appearance of luxury without spending luxury items? Like, we could do like a whole class on this on one of the listings. Like, where I was like, this is genius. Like, on how do we add perceived value to a listing? So, before, can I throw you a curveball that you don't know what I'm going to do?
Okay. All right.
All right. Come up here, Miss Lily.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yes. All right. You get your own mic, Lily. Okay. So, Yep.
Good.
Lily is one of my good friends. She's also one of the best salespeople that I know. Lily, how many Girl Scout cookie boxes have you already sold this year?
1,500.
Yeah. Yes. And why do you sell Girl Scout cookies? What does it fund?
Girl Scout trips.
Yep. So it funds Girl Scout trips. Like, scouting is incredibly important, right? It builds, really valuable skills like for the future. And Lily's goal is to sell 2,000. So I bought 12 last week. Not saying anyone has to do more than me, but just keep that in mind. And Lily, what do if for real estate agents? What do Girl Scout cookies do?
They make great closing gifts.
That's right.
Sure do. That's
Love
right.
it. I love it. She takes Venmo. She takes Cash App. If you got something else, I got cash. We'll work it out.
We'll
Don't let
figure
that
it
be
out.
come find Lily afterwards. Thank you so much, Lily.
Thank you, Lily.
I'll borrow it.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Fantastic. Awesome. So, tough act to follow, Brandon, Jose. Come on down. Jump on
cool.
up here. Let's have a chat here. We're excited. We got a couple of contractors up here, and we're going to go through some case studies. So, Corey, do you want to sit on the couch? Or you want to sit over here because you're going to be going off for a minute.
There you go.
Check
You're
one,
official.
two.
Take the Drew Barrymore chair. I'll come
check
slide
it out.
down here. Let's go. Anybody remember Ricky Lake? I just saw her on social media. No? Nobody else? Thank you. I was like, no one else lived through the 90s? But y'all's parents were home all the time? Come on. It's a television show that people watched if they were born in the 80s, bro.
Yeah.
Before your time.
Get familiar, man.
Yep. All right. So, Jose, we'll start with you, man. Tell the good people a little bit about yourself. How'd you get started on the construction industry?
Well, quite frankly, the halfway house I lived at wouldn't let me work in restaurants. So then, I started landscaping, and it started with mowing, and then hardscaping, and then pools, and then framing.
If you know about the restaurant industry and the construction industry, and you're puzzled, there was a sober landscaping company. That's the missing piece you're missing here. Because I was like, how'd they let you work in construction? Like,
Yeah, it was like
that tracks. Awesome. So you got started in landscaping, and what are you doing now?
managing projects for Silverline.
Awesome, dude. What does that look like? Because I know Jose came in here. Has anybody worked with Jose in here? Yeah, Jose came in here and was like the only landscaper in here, and I saw him, and he was like, I did like 30 jobs,
crushed it
for grid people.
Yeah, so I started doing that, but then now
Yep.
I don't have time for that shit.
Yep,
Dude. It's
I know.
just like, what it looks like now is managing jobs, selling jobs, estimating jobs.
Yep.
And then just stuff like this, I guess.
And what is Silverline? Like, are you guys just like a developer? Are you a GC? I know you do a bunch of stuff.
I guess it changes with which person you ask, because it is compartmentalized. But like on my end, we just develop land and then do the remodels, and then we have a pool division,
Yep.
and then they're trying to grow a property management division, and it really just depends on who you ask that works at Silverline.
Awesome. So we have you up here instead of Nathan. We had Nathan last because he's like, I want to put Jose on there because Jose is boots on the ground managing projects at a high level. And just give us an idea of like, what's a typical project that you might be running? Just for some context if I'm in the room. So I'm like, is it you're doing a bathroom install or are you doing like a new build, like commercial?
It's commercial or residential, and
Yep.
then like a full gut remodel.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice to do bathrooms. It would be a lot chiller, I think. But I probably have to. I don't know actually, because it'd be more.
Dude, I don't want to do tile.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, it's there. No, like just a bathroom or just a kitchen would probably be a little too small for us. We just give it straight to our subs.
Yep. Cool. So just want to get some context of like what they're doing. Silverline's doing development, right? And you're doing some larger development. We had Nathan on here last year. One of the reasons I like talking to Nathan a lot is when Advanced Knox was coming, when they were doing all the listening sessions here and they were talking about missing metal and doing all of that. Nathan is like a local politics kind of junkie in like a good, cool way. He's like a nerd, not like in a weird way. And was just like, gave me some insight of like being on some of the planning commissions and like being involved and like kind of understanding what's driving those factors. Cause I think as an investor, that is where it's a lot easier to get like an advantage than maybe can I consistently know, like find the needle in the haystack. Maybe not, but I can be the only one that paid attention of like, oh, wow, there's this South Waterfront development plan and there's houses available for under 100K here. And they only talked about it for a decade. I could have bought up some stuff over there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, as a resource to that, I mean, you're right. You can look up Advanced Knox. You can go through kjas.org and you can look at their maps and planning, and they have their whole plan laid out. They tell you exactly where they're intending on expanding existing corridors, what areas are up for redevelopment. You can already see now where the ball's headed over the next 5-10 years all around Knox County. They're not hiding it. You can go on this. It's a few clicks of a mouse and a few searches and you can find it. Nathan. Oh, sure.
Excellent. All
The
right.
meetings are cool to watch if you go watch the virtual meetings, because just people arguing about like plants and shit. It's so funny. It's like there's like so much big picture stuff going on, and people are like, "But can I plant this here?" It's like it's a kind of a fun time to watch.
It is funny, and there's some interesting just like debates that are happening like out in Kingston. I was like driving down Lansdowne Road. If anyone's been down that road, I was going out to the reserve. Yeah, there's a bunch of new construction out there, and there's a whole debate about y'all's project and people opposing it, like this townhouse project. So we're going to be doing something focusing on Anderson County. So in May, we're doing an event over at Aspire in Clinton. We got a guy here that does business development for Foundation Mortgage. Mike Wallace ran that project for Joe Hollingsworth. So he's going to help us put together something. And we're going to bring the Anderson County Chamber of Commerce, that's Oak Ridge, to talk about all of these nuclear jobs that are coming and what's happening, and some city officials from Clinton. And I think that just could be like a really good event. We'll charge a ticket. We'll raise some money for charity to really give us an idea of like, I want to know what's happening and I want y'all to have an inside edge as well. So sick. Enough about that.
Pretty excited about it.
Brandon,
Yeah, dude.
who are you?
So I'm Brandon Black. We own Hands and Feet Construction. We're a fully residential and commercial general contractor. Flip tons and tons of houses, commercial build-outs, tenant build-outs. We have a custom residential side that we do for retail customers if that's something that they want to chase after. But our main bread and butter is tenant build-outs on the commercial side of things, and then full residential flips and some multifamily.
That's cool, man. How did you get into construction?
So I started as a grunt moving cabinets and refrigerators, and got in with a lot of really old men that were phasing out, and they just happened to teach me a lot of stuff, and just continued to grow, and God put it on our heart to start our own business, and we've been in business since 22, and it's just taken off. It's been a lot of fun, and Grid's been a huge part of that.
You brought a lot of guys. How many employees do you have?
So right now we have 15 on hand, but we carry the 3 gentlemen sitting back here are our main guys. We have 2 superintendents and a lead superintendent. They work themselves like dogs, making sure these jobs.
Raise your hands, fellas. Yeah. Yeah. Those are good folks to like chat and pick their brain, buy somebody coffee. You can learn a lot. Like another way you can know what's happening in the market is I try to talk to people like a Lance or like a Brandon or like that have their hands on multiple transactions. So I talk to some lenders sometimes too of like, oh, here's somebody that maybe has seen a lot more deal flow than me. So they might have a better perspective on what's happening in the market just because they're getting a lot more at bats. Or, hey Nathan, hey Jose, like what area are you guys doing projects in? Like where are you getting hired? Those are all kind of indications of like a heat map.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys want to look at? We sent you some of these. You want to look at some projects? Want to pick them apart? Want to give us some
Let's do it.
frameworks? All right, sick. So Corey has a 4 levels of renovation framework. And the reason we have this, right, is so we have a common language of exactly what we're doing. So we use this. Like when we make offers, we will write out like our list of work. I've adopted this because Corey did it. It works very well. So I have a flip. I'm finishing up in Clinton right now. I sent him over a budget. I said, this is what level this is. Here is what I need to do. So this is why I need to buy this for $100,000. Because I need to do this so I'll be able to make. And I told him exactly what I was going to make. I was able to negotiate it, and then something changed. I was able to negotiate it down because I led with like a framework, a common framework we could understand. I think it's very helpful.
Yeah. So the framework we're going to share, right? This is something, the reason why we do this every year is because we all know that things change. Material costs change, tariffs hit. Suddenly now my vanity's twice the cost is what it was beforehand. And you had to go actually rush. If you're smart, you went and jumped in like before those tariffs actually hit and just locked up a couple vanities before things really jumped, right? So we do this every year because this is fluid. It's dynamic, right? I'm basing these numbers off of like my like personal experience. So I try to break these things down into a like price per square foot metric that at least can, again, help you just paint in broad strokes or at least quickly analyze deals without getting like minutia. What you'll find is this will still get you pretty close. This is going to get you within $10,000 or so like of your number, which we already talked about. You've got to have some variable costs. You've got to be prepared to go over budget, over time. So this is all designed to get you pretty close.
But what this gets me is, can I get into this? Is this worth looking at? Is
That's
this going to pencil out? Right. Do I have some kind of a framework when I'm talking to these guys? Do I have an idea if it's a total gut job or right? This is going to make it easier for us. So what's level 1, Corey?
Yeah. Level 1, rental grade. This is paint, flooring, fixtures, sludge across the board. We're just cleaning it out, making it really pretty, turn around and go.
So we got 15 to 30 a foot. What do you think of that number, Brandon?
Yeah, absolutely. For a rental grade, just surface level, nothing major going on with it. $15-$30 a foot is going to get you close ballpark. You're going to have to, manage your material cost a little bit, but overall, as long as you're smart with your money on the material side of things, you're in there. And those are fast from a contractor's perspective.
Yeah. Those are stuff you can be in and out relatively quick. Here's how I can cumulatively think about this, right? When you go look at flooring, for example, which I encourage, like go to Lowe's, go to Home Depot, go look at just what LVP is going right now on a price per square foot.
Go to Floor and Decor.
Go to Floor and Decor,
and
right?
Build some little mood boards on their little stations.
Yeah, that's right. Through that, though, what you'll find is, okay, if my average like laminate is between like $2 and $3 a square foot, it's probably going to cost me about the same to have that installed, like in labor. So I can quickly do some math and go, all right, well, my flooring's probably going to be about $5 a foot times this 1,000 square foot house. It's going to get me within the ballpark. You are going to probably have a little bit extra material. You're going to have some variance in that cost. I get to wait. Trim, for example, if I got to replace all the trim, the baseboards, etc., like that can add up. But all this is designed to get you like in that range. Paint, same thing. Paint's $5-$6 a square foot, just depending if they got to patch and sand a bunch of drywall and fix a bunch of holes. That's going to cause your cost to go up, but that can give you basis. So when you start adding that up, okay, well, 5 for flooring, 5 for paint. Now I'm quickly at 10. We start adding like some fixtures. Gets you to about that 15 if you're just literally just like turning it over for like a tenant, maybe just doing some quick little updates. Could go a little bit higher if you start having to add in a few extra pieces or refinishing the tub, for example. There goes another little $600 that gets thrown into the bill.
And what can really change that, like I cut my teeth in Florida, which was a lot easier, right? Everything's on a slab, right? It's pretty straightforward. Everything's concrete walls. And we did renovations for Fannie and Freddie and HUD. So we really got good at like, we're using the same vendors every single time. And I had the calculator in my head of like, this is the price per foot. I don't have that as much here because there's a lot of variables. Big one is going to be stairs. If I'm doing flooring, it's going to be removal of existing flooring fixtures. That could be a big variance, right? I'm not just dealing with the slab. If I got to remove tile and put it back on, labor can start really going up there, right?
Sure.
So just be aware of some of these things. Sick.
That's right. Yeah.
What's the next one? Simple
Yeah.
rehab.
I'm in level 2, simple rehab. This is replacing everything where it sits, right? Typically like new kitchens, new bathrooms. I'm not I'm not fully like taking out walls, I'm not moving around like the structure as much. I'm just replacing everything where it sits. With that, typically I also expect to encounter 1, maybe 2, what I would call like larger ticket items. I'm changing out the roof, changing out the HVAC, electrical, plumbing, siding, things that can be pretty costly. Windows, right, that go up. I was paying $500 a window for like material and install. Then I was up to like $700, and we had a vendor, I don't know if she's here anymore, that was doing like custom
Ashley's
windows.
here.
Yay, there she is, right? So
Ashley just quoted me very reasonably 3 basement windows. The city of Clinton says I got to replace some basement windows, and they are going to have those turned around for me in like 2 weeks.
I was going to say, what's your turnaround time right now? Yeah, awesome.
I already got a pretty decent package from her, and she got it in I think a week and a day, and they're good windows.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
One deal that helped me up here this past year was like Windows was the biggest thing, and it took me a month to get it all through. And I would have had the house done in 2-3 weeks.
That happened on that one we did in Washington, dude.
Right?
He bought like the white windows, and then like he tried to paint them, and like it was yes,
Just a mess. Yeah.
extra 6 weeks.
So what we're doing here is we're adding noticeable value to the home. Most fix and flips, things that you're looking at, are going to fall in this 2 or 3 range. If you find the level 1, fantastic, like you win the lottery. Most of your stuff is going to fall like in this range. Most fix and flip projects are going to fall between this and the next framework, which we'll hit here. Basic remodel, level 3, $65 to $80 a square foot. That's everything in level 2, plus we now are making some structural changes. Now we're finishing in some spaces. We're fixing out fitting out the garage further, adding some space. We're moving walls. This is also expect to be in this ballpark when you're playing like pre-1950. Like it's just gonna happen.
And one of the things I think might be interesting, if you look at like a level 2, is who project manages their own flips here, and who uses
50-50.
like a contractor who has a GC run their stuff.
Yeah.
Level 3 is where like I discover my limitations as a project manager.
100%.
All right, I've been around this a lot. I can project manage a lot of things because I have installers. Level 3 is where I'm like, oh man, I looked at the panel and all the wiring had been replaced, but I didn't do like this full inspection, and now half the stuff was on ground. Like there's just like, oh, this is getting above my scope. Some of the things we've seen before.
Yeah, to you guys, I'm curious, like, what's the thing you feel most people miss, like, when they're doing their pre-flip, like, walkthrough? They've called you out to come, like, help with a job, and you're starting to mastermind a bit. Like, what's the thing most people miss or don't account for?
In my opinion, the number one thing everybody misses is everything to do with electrical systems. Everybody always misses it. And then I would say underlying horrible structural issu't that you just walk through and like, oh yeah, the floors are just a little out, it'll be okay, and then you start looking under it and it isn't. That would be the main ones where everybody says, oh yeah, the electrical system's fine, it's not, or oh, it's just a little dip in the floor, it's only going to cost $200.
Yeah, I agree, because I mean, I think Because it's not bad to go into a crawl space when you just duck a little bit, but when you have to get on your belly,
Actually crawl.
most people don't do it.
Yeah,
So
100% on that.
and then just assuming everything behind the sheetrock is fine.
yeah, we're gonna see
It's
that.
almost like you know what we're going to talk about.
No, exactly. It's just like, oh, look at it. It's painted good. Like it's painted in the past couple of years. It's got to be good underneath there.
You know, I'll add one more. I'll say ductwork, HVAC ductwork, especially if it's in a crawl space. 9 times out of 10, a rat or a raccoon's been through there, and you don't see it until you belly crawl 90 feet into the crawl space, and then it comes up, you know, on down the line halfway through the renovations, and so that's something that's hard to catch up as well.
Sure.
And roofs. I just thought about that. Roofs, man. It's like it looks good, but it's like, yeah, it looks good because it's got 3 layers of shingles on it.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, 2 layers of decking, and then like it's all powder. And then next thing you know, you rip off all of it, and then you just realize, oh crap, like the trusses are not doing good. The rafters are rotten. But it looked good from the street.
Yeah. I think my last project, they're the one in Cadbury. I think that had like 3 layers of shingles on it. That just extra bright, extra composite, extra dumpster. You have to call out like extra labor to go tear that extra off. It is not uncommon to see people throw like a layer of shingles. They won't remove the old one; they'll just throw one on top. And then in my last case, like another one for good measure. Like,
Yeah, that house in Clinton, I took the roof off, replaced half the decking, removed all the insulation, dropped all the ceilings, and replaced all that. I knew it on the front end because I used to be a roofer. But yeah, like that would have been a tough one if I didn't know what I was dealing with.
yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of really leads us to level 4, right? Major remodel. We are taking this thing completely to the studs all the way through. We're likely doing some structural work through that, and we're changing all your mechanicals, your electrical, your plumbing, like everything. We're basically getting a full house. We're just saving the frame.
So
and even at times that's not salvageable.
Jose, that's something that that's what you said, hey, full guts. That's what I'm doing. What's some of the things when you're doing like a full gut, like what's something that people wouldn't know to think about? Like when we're coming here, gotta pull permits.
Well, that one seems obvious, but it would just get plans on the front end. Like just spend the time and get plans because you're just gonna be better organized going into it, and then just because the more organized you are, the smoother it's gonna be. And then also too, it's just like if you don't pull permits, then they want permits, and then you're just like, oh, I've been moving this, and that. They're gonna want to see plans.
So when we're talking about plans, it's like, hey, if I'm doing a full gut, I'm going all the way down to the studs, and I'm coming back. How am I coordinating everyone? Are we on the same page exactly where this kitchen is going, or where my outlets are going to be, or the plumbing's supposed to run? Yeah.
So when you're pulling permits, it doesn't matter what jurisdiction you're in. You have to submit drawings. That's just part of it. If you're pulling a permit, the AHJ requires drawings. Hands and Feet Construction, we provide and do all of our own drawings, so we can sit down with customers and figure that all that stuff out on the front end with them. But anytime you're going into a 3, even an involved level 2, in my opinion. If you even involve level 2, a 3, definitely a 4. This is where you really want to sit down with your contractor on the front end, post the deal being cut, and say, hey, we want to make sure that all of our ducks are in a line. We know where this wall is going to move. And yes, it's a project you're going to have to adjust as things pop up. But this is where you really sit down with your contractor and your subcontractors and all your people and say, hey, this is the game plan, and this is what we're moving with until we have to adjust.
The other thing is I got to spend some time talking to the city of Clinton codes inspectors, and what they shared with me is, sometimes they hear about things being grandfathered in because of codes. And he said that if I'm renovating more than 50% of the property, then he's going to ask me to bring these things up to code. Also, we had to bring some railings up to code because he said it's a life safety issue. So just be aware of some of those issues of like not everything has to be brought up to code, but if I'm doing major renovations, there's a waterfall effect, and I may have to touch a lot more things if I've not done. If I'm used to just doing like a lipstick fix, it is a radically different proposition, right?
Can I say something real quick?
Please
do it.
I know a lot of people, because I see pictures on Facebook, they don't freaking get permits because the handrails in Knox County now, you have to have like the 2x6 on the top. doesn't count as a handrail anymore. They need an actual handrail.
It's got to be grippable. Like, so if I was
So
going
I
to slip
see a
and
bunch
fall,
of people
can I?
posted that they got sold. I'm like, oh, you didn't get a permit. I don't care. Do your thing. Something I say to myself, and I guess now y'all.
I have those same conversations with me. It's like, oh, yeah, no, you didn't pull that permit.
Yeah, it's big takeaway, especially when we get into like these levels, like 2, 3, 4. Go slow to go fast. It's so like easy to get just like caught up and like, man, I just closed. Like we got to get on it like now and just be working because I mean, time's literally money. But we talk about like that's why you have to have your extra like reserves in play because stuff's gonna come up, right? And it's when you rush. It's when you're going guilty as charged. Like I say that like as somebody who's like that's been a problem of mine in the past. It's just like rush, go, I buy it, I want to start working like that day. Because you either want to feel productive or you're just holding money, etc. Like go slow to go fast. Like his point, the more organized you can be, the smoother everything goes, the less hiccups you ultimately have. It takes a little time. It's way worth it. It's worth its weight in gold.
And get clear on what you want to do. We've told this story before, but Corey and I did a flip together. Was it 2019, Corey?
Maybe 2020.
2021.
So we did 2020.
We did this one flip together, and we subbed out everything except for like hooking up the dishwasher. And you know, I told Corey that I was gonna like help him, and like typical realtor, like Corey was there at 8, and I showed up like 10:30 or 11. One day of work on that, and Corey was like, "Just take my equity. I'm done." Like,
I was good. I was already burnt out. It was just like, no, not worth it.
Justin said he's gonna be here. He's not here, and I just think like, be very clear on what you're good at. Like if you've got, you know, if you don't have anything going on, great, do work yourself. Like
Totally.
yeah, you should your dollar. But if you could do more dollar per hour productive activity, like it's not worth. Again and again, we're like, why did we try to save this $500? This was not like the time was not worth it. Like I just should sub all of it out.
Truly.
So this last one, I've touched nothing.
There you go.
I'm not even putting electrical. I give it all to Handyman. I'm not going over there.
Yeah, that's right. No, yeah. To your point, great point. Know what you're good at, what you want to do. I've usually liked doing demo, initial clean out, just get my hands dirty, go like that route, cool, or help out on some landscaping. That's fine. But even that to the point, like not anymore. Just hire it. Somebody else is going to do it. They're going to do it in half the time. It's going to look better than what I probably would have done anyway. And I can go spend my time going to find the next opportunity rather than spending hours fighting a dishwasher or some trim or something like that.
Yeah. Because the other thing I've learned from working like construction, I went and started working as a roofer, and I was like, oh, when you have the right tools and there's someone that knows what they're doing, construction is very easy. When I am doing this thing and I don't have a Sawzall, like this is an all-day job, my buddy comes over, right? And he's like, oh man, you got air compressors, and like turns out I'm pretty handy when I got the right tools. I can frame stuff. Yeah. Awesome, man. Let's look at some deals.
Yeah.
Let's run through some of these, and then Jose, Brandon, I want to get kind of your take on some of these as well, of what it would look like if you were doing it as well.
Yeah, so like 2 of these 3, I managed myself. The third one, like I brought in a GC, had somebody else go, right? So this was one of my first ones of the year, 4405 Northgate Drive. This is up in Halls, right by Halls High School, right? Where did this come from? Came from another agent, like in this room, right? So they say when you be specific with your buy box and where you're asked, the universe knows how to reward that. So it came from another agent. Financing, approach lending, shout out. We bought this on January 16th, sold it April 28th. Quick turn, right?
Let's go.
Quick turn in that. Level 2 remodel, $29 a square foot, bought it for $180, spent $30, just under $40,000 on it, exited at $305. Inside. Here's what was that. The outside is what was scary on that, right? The outside. This was all roof, windows, siding, gutters. That was the biggest part of it, right? So, like, what did I really spend my money on? Roof, windows, siding, gutters. But the inside was clean. Like, the flooring was good. There was LVPs, tile in the kitchen. I painted the cabinets, put some hardware on, changed some lighting. Out. Bathroom.
So back there in that kitchen, it looks like you had that like ugly box, like fluorescent light, and you just swapped it out for
swapped it out for a new light.
Paint the cabinets, cool.
Paint the cabinets, put some hardware on them. Like hardware will go like such a long way just by changing out some handles on some things.
Anyone have any questions, by the way? Feel free.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
an
an open
open book. Okay.
Yeah, cool. So going to the bathroom, like ways I could save some money. So that vanity is an unconventional size in terms of where it sit. Finding like a replacement that would squeeze in there would be way more work, way more expensive than like the trouble it's worth. So what do? We paint the box, put on some hardware, resurface the top, change the light kit, resurface the tub. One of my favorite things.
Yes.
Like resurfacing solutions, Jesse Wood, like please go use them. Like just it's
You just-
$600.
I just used them in Clinton. It was awesome.
God, it's the best. Like for $600, you can have a tub resurface, like get the old like yellow fiberglass, make it white. It's done. It's done in a day. It looks super clean. Way better than just trying to like rip that old one out just to replace it. I spent a little money on some tile in that bathroom. Like the total bathroom was about $1,700 to do. But if you're gonna like redo that whole bath, it'd double that.
What a difference lighting makes, right?
100%.
Lighting and paint. I mean, it's the same light fixture, right? But just painting that thing white, radically different space.
Well, what I love about this one is that you can see how creative Corey got in not getting too caught up in all the things that needed to be done when he walked the property. He decided to take a look at this and then say, hey, pump the brakes. Why are we spending all this money on all this stuff that's unnecessary, not getting scared by green paint? And said, oh, man, look, we can just throw a coat of paint on this. We can fix the vanity up a little bit, and bada bing, bada boom, we're done. And, let's not spend the $10,000. Why do that?
What I found is functional, clean, and then paying attention to the small details, right? If this thing is functional and it's clean, and I pay attention and I caulk what needs to be caulked, right? And I don't have yellow electrical switch plates, and I pay attention to the small details. Psychologically, it's like, oh, cool. This is like a used car that was taken care of. I'm going to assume it runs well, right? Because the interior looks good. Someone's been cleaning this thing, and so doing those small things, often people leave those things because they're practical. It's not a big deal. They can do it. And those are the things that like crush resale sometimes, right? People picking it apart. I can totally have this old vanity when everything else, hey, I resurfaced. I don't have the yellow tub.
Yeah. Spend a little money on landscaping as well. Like dollar for dollar, probably one of the best places you could spend your money.
Who did that landscape in there? That looks good.
There's that dude right there.
Unfortunately, he's out the game, but
Yeah, but we grabbed him when
But he
when
knows
you raised your
ball.
hand for sure. Yeah, that's right. But it was great. Just clean things up again. The outside was what was scary, like about that house. The owner had passed away, family settling the estate. They needed money like right away. Dad left behind a bunch of medical debt. They needed a quick cash offer. Cool, we can make it happen. Went through, bought it, cleaned it up, and moved on. Most people would be a little scared of that, seeing all that scary exterior, but in reality, it was just, I would, had it not been for windows, I would have absolutely had that project done within about like 2 weeks. Because it was all outside.
What roofing
and then
color
go
did you
in.
go back on? Weathered wood?
Yeah, weatherwood.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like that's kind of my go-to.
Weathered wood matches everything. Just pro tip if you're trying to pick a roof color.
Yeah, for sure. Also, one thing I like to do on my projects, what I've done now a handful of times, go talk with an interior designer. Like, spend the money. It's going to cost you a couple $100. Have a designer give you a selection sheet. They tell you what paint colors. Like, one of the things I hate the most is like selections. It gives me the most anxiety to decide what paint color, what switch, what faucet. I personally don't care. I like running the numbers, setting up the play, putting the people in place, and just pushing that domino over and go. So I reached out. I've had a couple designers help me out across the way. Here's what's cool. Now I have like a template that looks pretty good most everywhere, and now I can mix and match. So you do it a couple times. You've got some stuff in there. If you've got a very like niche, unique one, bring in a designer for that. But you could do it across a couple of these, and now you've got a couple of design selection sheets that you can just go rinse and repeat. This here I used like 2-3 times like last year just because I know it works. I'm like, yep, that'll work. That was
And
pretty.
design can be a superpower, especially as
100%.
we're talking about how do we increase functionality and livability. We're talking about designers or architects or like reimagining spaces. And if you have good design, if the neighborhood comps allow it, you can radically transform. We've seen this, right? In Park Ridge, Lori Gano's done some stuff where I'm like, oh my, this property selling for $40 a square foot higher than anything else on the market. I said appraisers don't use it, but it's still kind of a good benchmark. because the design choices were so
Yeah,
intelligent.
truly.
Yep.
If you're looking for just some design help, like I know not only does Hands and Feet do construction, but Miss Sarah Black over there, raise your hand high, can also help you out with some of your interior design needs as well, right? Great little combo team there. But invest in some design, have some good templates. You can just copy paste.
All right.
effectively
Let's
across
see
the
another
boards.
one.
Yeah.
Hit us.
Yep. Cool. 3504 Curtis Lane came from a wholesaler. This is truly level one. This is about as level one as it could get. This homeowner also just needed like quick cash offer, came through a wholesaler, financed it using private money, like fully private money with another grid member. They funded the purchase, the rehab. I managed the whole deal. We split the profit 50-50. When I do those deals, here's how it always works, right? It's how it should work. We share in the wins, we share in the losses. We're equal 50-50 partners. Things go sideways, we lose money on this, we equally lose money on this. When we win, we split. So it was cool. Somebody came there, brought the money. I managed the whole project, but they funded the whole thing. I keep a nice expense report, walk through it every week, make sure they're well informed for what's going on. In this case, we ended up splitting about 60 grand, like net profit on that. Not bad for kind of a quick turnaround.
Bought in April 19th, sold July 30th. So that means it went under contract in
Yeah, I think we went under
right?
contract like right around probably the first week of July. It was one of those
you would have
things
had that
like,
done by the end of June. That's a quick turnaround because it was at level one.
Because it was level one,
Yep.
right? It was paint. I mean, like before, after. Like I resurfaced the floors, just did a quick buff coat on them, painted the whole place. It's amazing what paint will do.
Staging, y'all. So we just had somebody come in. Go check it out. Grid Tactical Tuesday, gridtacticaltuesday.com. I had Heather Kane join us. Heather Kane started a national platform for real estate agents called Style to Design, where it helps agents kind of like deliver, she calls it reality renovations, reality staging. But she was breaking us down some numbers for us. Staged homes sell for 6 to 11% more. Like, so we stage our investments. I'm a big believer in it of like, I want to create an emotional experience. I want someone to feel like an Airbnb, like they can move in because when there's furniture there, they're not picking apart my trim work.
100%.
Right. They're not picking up. They're looking at like, oh, look at how cute the bathroom is. They're not like picking apart the vanity.
Yeah.
When I've been to y'all's houses, like you have stuff that's uncompleted, but when we're shopping, everybody wants it to be perfect. It's just the psychology. Yes. Dan. Ooh, let's punt to our contractors. Yeah. No, I love that. So yeah, if we're not doing flip or we could talk about both. Like, yeah. Is there a difference in material? First of all, let's just do this. Do you have some material recommendations, like some minimums that you recommend that people do when they're doing projects? Let's start there.
So, working like if you come to me with a deal, we'll walk the property, go through everything, and in my pricing, I already factor in all of our material costs, and so I have a slew of materials that we always use. So, and one, because they look good, they're cheap, and they hold up for a long time, and this is stuff that we've used on hundreds of properties throughout the years, and so we've had the opportunity to really define the materials that we use with our vendors and pricing and making sure that we can make deals work. But like to answer your question a little bit more clearly, let's
restate Dan's question. So Dan's question is, and Dan's a property manager, was, hey, if I'm going to buy and hold this, right? So I'm going to have tenants in here. There's going to be some wear and tear in there. Is there a difference in the level of the materials I use? So he mentioned 6 mil, which is a measurement of the thickness of LVP. It's measured mils like how they measure the thickness is there. And he mentioned like vanities, like falling off there. Like I may not want to use like a really janky because it's going to fall apart. Yeah.
So at 6 mil LVP is going to hold up fine. Great brands, Duralux at Floor and Decor, Nucor Floor and Decor, Life Proof, Home Depot, great quality floors. They're going to last for forever, even in a true hold. The big ones I would always consider like a shower valve. Always get like a Delta, a nicer shower valve. Don't cheap out on a shower valve because you're going to definitely replace it if you're holding it. Cabinets, I still recommend like MDF cabinets for most typical households. There's no ARV value in like a true plywood box until you get up to that $500,000-$600,000 range. and then invest in the most important things like HVAC, roof. You know, GAF makes a great shingle of American Standard, or Goodman HVAC units are great.
Jose, anything you see that like people cheap out on, they shouldn't cheap out on?
I guess with the LVP, the only thing is really just make sure it's actually waterproof and not water resistant. Insulation. Don't cheap out on insulation. I'm trying to think. You said all the good ones, dude.
No, that's fine. That's why we have two. One of the things I would just keep in mind is, one, would I live in this place right now? I'm a pretty practical person, and I've lived, with roommates, and if anyone's talked to me, like I'm pretty bohemian. But would I live in this place? So I just did a flip, and I used Home Depot cabinets, right? But then I looked at the functionality of the kitchen, and I go, ooh, because I'm using Home Depot cabinets, I'm putting drawers into this instead of these base cabinets, right? I'm spending money really thinking about how do I make this thing more functional, where I was like, cool, it's a small galley kitchen, but how can I make it a lot more functional? Put a pantry cabinet in. So I know I could sell past it. People don't think about this, but like when they get in there and they're like, oh, wait, there's no pantry, like they're screwed. And so just thinking through of like some functionality is a very easy way. I think that with bathrooms, and then my big one, honestly, is like exhaust fans.
Oh, yeah.
It
for sure.
drives me crazy when people have these janky $35 exhaust fans. Pro tip, though, if you're buying and holding, those super quiet ones can be dangerous too, because sometimes they're too quiet.
Yeah.
There's no background noise. You can hear everything that's happening in the bathroom. Just be
Yeah.
because I've been obsessed with this, and I
there's
found
like
out
an
I'm like,
optimal
no, I
level of
need a
noise.
little bit of noise. Just saying, like, oh, you can't go too high end sometimes because like there's no background noise. You got to run the faucet. So.
Yeah.
East Tennessee cabinets. She's got a showroom over on Baum Drive. Yeah. Real wood cabinetry. Yeah, if anybody wants that, that's Diana Warner and Ed Pasto. When I moved here, Diana was my next door neighbor, so I've known her longer than anybody in Knoxville. Met her back in 2000. And they've got a showroom over off Baum. They're the local visual comfort, so lighting designer. They're the Farrow and Ball designer. Farrow and Ball is this super high-end, like no VOC paint. And so like just incredible. Really, really, they got some really cool stuff. Yeah. That's a good tip. And awesome. Thank you. That's a good plug. Yeah, Ivan. Yeah.
I guess the first thing is, where's the house? That's what I would wonder first.
Where's the house, as in like
Physically, where is the house?
what? Okay, so what? Like how expensive is the house?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like in what neighborhood it's in. I mean, it doesn't make sense to do like a full Trex deck. It just doesn't. It's
Because you're not going to get the ROI. You can
Exactly.
over improve like balling out on your deck when you get attached to a 250K 1,300 square foot house.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Like, again, knowing your price point, knowing your exit. This one that I'm covering here, like, that I sold it at $445. That's the most expensive one I've ever done. Typically, I keep like $350 and under is like my target ARV. Because also, right, what's my backup plan? I'm just gonna hold it, right? At a certain point, like at a certain price point, there's really like diminishing returns, or there's really only so much. Like beyond $350,000, I'm probably still only gonna get like $2,000 a month, like out of that, maybe a little more out of it. So over improving or going there, it doesn't make sense. Like this one, probably the only reason I did is because the exit was, I could still hold this because of how it was split up. So like looking at it there on the left side of of the property, there's like a yellow door is the front door, what became the new front door. To the left side is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. The other side, the other part of the house was like a 3-bed, 1.5-bath house, or 3-bed, 2-bath house that was on the other side. So I literally was just, okay, cool. I'm just going to split this and I'm going to rent it as two totally separate things. They've each got their own separate entrances, separate HVAC. It'd be a shared utilities. Like I'd have to figure that part out, but I still had an exit that would make sense. Is the only reason I even went for this, was I could still keep it if I had to. One thing I do like when it comes to saving money on this, people notoriously just like leave stuff behind, right? When you're buying homes, fix and flip, people cash offer,
I got a
out.
31-foot RV.
Yeah, you got an RV out of
sitting
yours.
in my driveway.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
So it's got some-
But no, like sellers notoriously like leave stuff behind. The mower was left behind there, so I sold it for like a couple $100 on Facebook Marketplace. It covered my dumpster cost. I just put it at a price that I knew was a steal of a deal, but I just needed somebody that would come get it like that day. I don't need to like haggle on that one. Other times, like the other photo there on the right, that was the last property I did the year before, and that was a massive shop where that couple that left, they were buying Amazon and Walmart like return pallets, and we're trying to like resell that. So there's like 12 pallets of just random crap. You need like air mattresses. I got like 12 of them, right? So I didn't want to manage and mess with all that of either like throwing it out, but I could look through. I'm like, oh, there's actually some good stuff in here. There's some stuff that's worth some money, a lot of trash, but there's some stuff that's worth money. So had a guy like from this room said, hey man, how about this? You be my Facebook Marketplace broker. I don't want to mess with this. You're responsible for selling it all and getting it out of there by a certain time frame. And I'll split it with you, man. 60-40. You keep 60, I get 40. Whatever you sell it for, cool, we'll just split it. He was all about it, right? So partner with people. Find ways you can get creative. Know what you're good at and find ways you can leverage it out. But in doing so, like by selling all that stuff out, we made a couple $1,000, which was sweet because, again, it covered all of my dumpster costs on it. So try to look for ways to save money, and sometimes you get some cool stuff out of there. Again, you got an RV, which is super badass.
I got so much stuff. That guy had. Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, it's a nice.
Yeah,
It's a nice RV. But yeah, it was largely just surface level entryway. I changed the front door. It was probably the most expensive thing I'd spent money. It was $1,000 like front door to make it look nice. But put some new tile there in the living room or the entryway. Change out some lighting, in and out.
really
Gone.
this one staging.
Yeah,
if you
staging
could go,
was
if you could
huge.
go see it, because it was kind of a funky, interesting house, and our stager does decor as well, like, and that makes a huge difference. Like wall decor and spaces like that, and that foyer
Yeah,
and everything. It
Show
just,
where the TV is going to go, what's
Yep.
going to hang here.
How much does that cost?
yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah, so staging's certainly going to vary, like depending on the house. I mean, for a while we were around 0.5% of my sale price. So if it's like $300,000 house, $1,500, maybe $2,000, you know, things go up a little bit.
I'd
So
say I've seen an increase on the bottom where I
Yeah.
think I just did a condo, and it was 1,800 to do this 1,800 square foot condo. It also depends on, like, you just talk to your stager. Good question. Like on the packages, like, are we staging every single bedroom, or like the living areas? Like, yep. You can give your opinion. I'll give mine.
yeah, sure. I think certainly virtual staging is nice. The word I can think of like is deceptive, but it's not meant to be like malicious in that way. But it gets people's like hopes up and expectations where they can like visually see, which is nice. But then they get there and then they walk in and it's like a cold, empty space. They saw that they're like looking at their phone, like, I think our couch would kind of fit here, versus actually having something there. It mattered. I typically stage all of my stuff. I've used virtual staging intermittently, probably to the biggest degree was a house I sold down in Athens a couple years ago, where it was a nice farmhouse, like on land, but the house was trashed. And so through that, I used virtual staging to show like renderings of like, here's what your bathroom could look like once it's updated. Here's your living room, etc. And then I had a contractor bid all of that out, had a home inspection. So I just laid it all out for those buyers to know, here's what's wrong, here's what it could look like, here's how much that would cost, and it made that tremendously easy.
I think it does too. Go ahead, Toby.
I work in new construction, and we have some model homes that are staged, and then other times we're walking through homes that are not staged, and it makes a huge difference if they're staged. I jumped at an opportunity to drive somebody even 30, 40 minutes to go see a model home that's staged. The home buying experience is such an emotional process. I mean, you can walk the customer through, and they can feel like, oh my gosh, I can set up my Christmas tree here, and the TV's right there. It's a game changer.
But there are two different, and I think it's a great question. There's two different things that are happening, right? So what virtual staging can be very effective. It's like, how many eyeballs can I get on the property? How much traffic can I drive? So how many showings can I drive? And then conversion, right? So if I don't have anything, virtual staging can be very effective. What virtual staging can be really effective for is in something where the underlying product is okay, but I'm showing you what could be done. Hey, I don't need to stage this as an office. I'm going to show you the bonus. Like, I'm going to virtually stage the bonus as an office. And what you can do that can like close that gap that most people do not do, go invest. Is that young lady from FedEx still here? The UPS store? That's a shame. I was about to plug her. Go to the UPS store and go get like your virtual staging, put it on an easel in that room. That's what I've had to do on large scale, like luxury renovation products, is like trying to sell a shell of a home actually with Diana over in Westmoreland. It was like a really weird, interesting project, but I put easels there. So when we're sitting there looking at it, I've done this when I'm selling like shells or something, or like a new construction, like make it easy for them. Oh, cool. Okay. I can kind of see that's what the kitchen's going to look like, because not everyone can visually, I have a kind of a poor visual imagination. If I close my eyes, like when I read books, I have no idea what these people look like. Right. And I've trained it, but I think that can be pretty effective as like as a gap, but staging creates an emotional experience. And our goal is like, how do we price it in a way where I can get multiple people there and then they're buying because they're having an emotional experience of it. What is important is that my photos look great. I saw someone's hands over there because I want it to look good when you send it to your sister. So she gets excited and then it's like a little friend and you've looked at it 7 times and not like, no, it looks so much better in person. Right? It's like when you're dating the new guy and his Facebook's terrible, you're like, no, like he doesn't have the dumb haircut anymore. Like, and she's like, I don't know about it. Like, no, he's much better when you meet him. Trust me. Like, you don't want to have to be like selling. You want other people in your life to be selling your buyer on the buying process. Yes, sir. I've had them sell it.
Yeah.
That's not always their desire because then they have to go source more stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
Yeah, but typically, typically from what we've worked with, we've had a handful of sales where, they've bought everything. We had a home down in.
I've seen people stage with Braden's.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like right, and because that is like everything's for sale. Yeah, so I've seen it both ways. Yeah.
Trav, and then I got you. Yeah. So it's going to depend on what type of funding and financing you're using, right? On, for example, like this one where I had just like a private money, like he funded the whole thing. There wasn't. I mean, he funded it like we just agreed to split the profits like 50-50. That was cool. On, say, this other next one here, sorry, there we go. This one in Cadbury was a combination using like hard money and private money. When I had a joint venture partner on it, I didn't pay the joint venture partner like a monthly piece, but I did have to pay the hard money, which typically, I mean, their rates are going to vary, but 10 to 12% like interest only, and they're going to fund the purchase and the rehab. So I think for like this project, for example, was about $2,000 a month was my burn on it.
And I just play with the spreadsheet because I've seen sometimes before where like, if you're fast, you could use private money at a really high interest rate, and it doesn't, if you have less points. There was a company that advertised something like 14%. And if you'd been working for a while, I was like, no points. And I was like, I'd take that all day. Like 1 point. I was like, I don't care about the rate. The difference doesn't make a big difference. Is like the 1 point makes a much bigger difference in my carrying costs. Unless I got like 8 up and I'm having a really long extension in carrying costs. one way to be aware of that, if you choose to play at that higher end, you can run into market cycles where you get stuck holding stuff. I've had some friends that do luxury flips, and they're doing great. They're making big, and then they have one, and they're sitting on this thing for 8 months, and they just burned $70K in carrying costs.
Yeah.
And this is a very sharp investor that I have a lot of respect
That's why
for.
I typically like these, like level 1, level 2. I'm patient. I'm not doing this as a full-time flipper where all of my income is in this. It's more or less a side hustle, right? My day-to-day is as a realtor is representing clients. So if I can do 3-4 of these a year, great. That's a great extra income on the side, but I'm not wholly relying on it.
What do you think of these repair numbers on this one? This is one that we used the contractor for, so I wanted to like have some like fair comparison. Let's kind of talk through this one here, CK. Like,
Yeah, this was one that we had.
yeah, walk us through this deal.
Yeah,
let's break down some numbers.
So this was one I bought on the MLS. I love when people are like, "Yeah, there's no good deals on the MLS." Like, totally, I bought it day one on the MLS.
Anybody ever met a realtor that wasn't maybe the best? Possibly. No, dude, you only know amazing realtors. Anybody ever seen expired property?
Yeah,
There's people screw up listing properties all the time. You can find deals on the MLS. Like, just because it's on the MLS doesn't mean that they marketed it correctly, or they include the right square footage, or they had the best photos, or like that they're not looking for a cash offer.
What allowed me to move on this one quickly, so this is one that I bought off the MLS day one for 20% off. How did I do that?
Ooh, I remember this one.
Yeah.
Bro, you used that.
How did I do that?
Jedi mind trick letter.
The whole thing. That's right.
You did the letter with the framework.
Here's in reality what it is. We talked about it before. We talked like how to find deals, right? We talked about our framework of zone, like zeroing in on a target market. So I invest in 37921, 37912 zip codes. What happens is because I invest in those areas, I know it cold. So this came up in 37921. It came up in a neighborhood I already own rentals in. I drove by this house every day for like years, right, at one point, because I used to live in that neighborhood. So I knew where it was. I saw it as soon as it came on the market, and it was listed for $100,000 lower than what they normally would sell for. It was listed at like 220, 230. I was like, immediately caught my attention because that's a good deal.
Because we've zoned a market, like we talk about, very simple. Make a list of the 50 ugliest houses, 100 would be better, and like learn everything about them.
Yep, that's right. So I was able to immediately get up after from having lunch, called the real estate agent, and said, "Hey man, what's going on with this?" He let me know, "Hey, well, divorcing couple. They've actually been out of the house for a while, but their kids were staying in there. So it was like 3 teenage boys living in the home for a couple years while they were finishing school. So this thing was beat to hell." They were just practicing karate on the walls. It was wild. But so it was like, okay, they want to sell it quick. Ding, ding. Like that tells me they want to sell it quick. Fantastic. So I start driving over there just to assess it because there was a handful of photos. I called Wee. I was like, "Hey man, just start writing me a contract. When I get there, I'll tell you what we're going to like send the offer for." Cause I just needed to be able to go walk it to really understand what this was going to be. Got back. We wrote an offer, sent it in, also sent a really nice, compelling email that would otherwise be a letter. And in that, I just spelled it all out for them. We've got a great home. I know here's what the upside is. Here's what I intend to do with this. I'm either going to fix and flip this or I'm going to fold it into my rental portfolio. I'll just see what I want to do as I finish it up. Here's my scope of work. So I already outlined, like, here's what I'm pretty sure is going to have to go into this. And then here's my proof of funds. And I made it.
And you also spelled out, you said you attached the 4 levels of renovation framework.
That's right.
If you want that, by the way, we're going to give that to you today.
That's right.
So you attached it to the email and you spelled out that this was this level of renovation.
Yeah. So I made it easy for the agent to sell their seller on why they should just take this offer. I laid it all out completely
because
for them.
you walked them through the reality of like, this is what someone that's going to buy this is looking at. There's got to be a profit motive for them to come take on all this risk and outlay all this capital. Yep. It's not like fit for like someone to buy as a primary.
They did a good job. The realtor did a good job. And then he started mentioning things like home style renovation or FHA 203K loans, which are great loan products for buyers that want to buy a home that needs work and they want a bank to go finance those renovations for something they're going to live in. So I commended him on that. Like, hey, I love that. And I do agree that this would be a good fit. And I said in my email, I'm offering speed and convenience here. Like, while I would agree this is a fit for that person, It can be a little bit harder for you to do that. What I'm offering you now is speed and convenience. I can buy this cash. I can close in 2-3 weeks. Can we get a deal? And yes, we did. We had it in like 5 hours. And we had it under contract for. Right? But because I knew the area, right? What happens when you don't know the neighborhood or you don't know it as well? What happens? You got to go over there and look at it. And then you got to drag your contractor out there. And then you guys go walk it.
Yep.
And then everybody's going to go stand outside and kind of look at it and just him and haw for 20 minutes because that's just what we do here. And then you got to go. Contractor's got to get you a scope of work. That's going to take a day or two. You got to figure this out. You just lose time. I knew the area. I knew it cold, so I knew I could work that infinitely faster than most other people could.
Is this a little resurfacing special, floor and decor tile?
This is floor and decor tile.
Yeah,
We just run
recognize it.
LVP. Like, there's a
Sexy.
way we add a little value, spend a little money on finishing out the shower, just ripping out the old stuff, redoing some walls, put in a new vanity, put in a new toilet, change out some faucets. Here's a good way we save money. I don't really do much to the kitchen. Well, the price point's $325, so I swapped out my appliances. I put hardware on the cabinets, changed out some lighting, flooring.
Laminate tops?
I didn't even do that, dude.
But were they laminate?
They're laminate tops.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, if you're holding a rental, like butcher block will look better. Laminate is super durable. I look at a ton of houses that have 30-year-old laminate, and there's nothing functionally wrong with the laminate at all. Like it's not like a sexy product, but there's a reason why it's put in all those houses in the 90s. Like I don't hate on it.
Yeah.
I don't install it, but I don't know that I would always replace it.
Yeah, depending on like what your intentions are with it. Like if I was keeping it as a rental, yeah, I'd probably still leave laminate in there.
I think it'd be a better product than butcher. I've used
I would
butcher
rather put
block
laminate than
because
butcher
people think it's sexy and they're hopefully they keep up with it. They're probably not. But
No.
like laminate's a lot easier to take care of. I have butcher block in my house. It's such a pain. It's so annoying.
Yeah, that's it. But we did fix a lot of the bigger items like on this one, right? HVAC, roof, deck, electrical panel. What drug out? Permitting. And there was actually stuff with the HVAC contractor on that of dragging his feet that really held us up for a bit. But we put on a new deck. We spent some money on some of those key areas that made it nice. Because the downstairs had finished, there was no garage, so the storage was really limited. So thankfully, there was that shed out in the backyard that we just also, in addition to putting the new roof on the house, put a new roof on that, painted it. Great.
What do you think of that pricing? Because I always want to go, if we go back to this, just be clear. We ask some other people, because is this Corey King magic, or is this
Giving it away.
awesome? So the pricing on this, I think the renovations on this were 85.
Yeah, 85.9.
Sounds right. Not crazy. Yeah, cool. So it's 45 a square foot, right? And you'll notice all of these numbers are actually below these estimations. That's a good thing, right? We want you to be making money during the project, right? Awesome. Hey, I saved some money. Man, I value engineered. Like I got this thing back. I thought it was going to be 35 a foot and I got it done for 28 a foot. High five. Like that's what we want to be doing. We do not want to be going in the other direction.
Yeah, that's when it gets scary.
Speaking of scary,
Yeah. Let's hit it. All right. So this one, I'm actively in the middle of this now. Why was this a nightmare? Here's what happens when you don't follow the processes the right way, etc. I'm going to show this video real quick because you can see what does it look like when I bought it.
dude, Corey went all out on this presentation. That ghost is clickable. There's all these like hyperlinks in it. It was sick.
So open the door, right? Home's 130 years old. Of course the floors slope a little bit.
What did Brandon say?
Oh, it's fine. Problem.
So they had come in here. You can see they've replaced flooring. They've replaced trim. Those windows new?
Yes.
Yes.
Windows were replaced.
Cool. We've got new windows.
here
We've got
to
new
the-
drywall.
Oh, the kitchen's in there. Great. The kitchen looks so nice. We're ready to go. Let's just finish this thing out.
Yeah, there was a doorway there that was to a bathroom. Like they had framed in a bathroom that was like going to be an add-on,
Yes.
but it kind of made sense. Like it's like, okay, well they've already started adding some functionality.
Has anyone noticed you can see outside? Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Dude, you haven't shown, but the crawl space was a pool when I went and looked at it.
Yeah.
It was a pool.
Yeah, the crawl space was
So-
was a pool.
What's tomorrow, right? That's it now. And we're getting ready to just tear it down and build a whole new house. Because there was a few things that started jumping out. I was like, hey, like this plumbing looks a little weird. Let's maybe go ahead and let's uncover, kind of see what's going on. And that's when we realized, oh, all this sheetrock is just held to rotted out 2x4s. Everything's termite eaten out. The contractor that was doing it like previously, so I bought it off some people. I mean, they lucked out like in terms of I picked up their problem, that's for sure, right? But no, that contract, they were trying to flip from out of state. I bought the house. The contractor was just doing all the work, unpermitted work. So then when they got pinched because they were doing all this stuff inside, and then it was when they went to go to the outside that the city shut them down. Cool, I'll pick it up. I already own homes in this neighborhood. I've renovated historic homes before. How bad could it be?
So
Yeah.
right, they didn't go and they didn't address what's underneath. And we've seen this. We did a house and we just
Yeah.
decided we did this house over by the zoo.
Mhm.
So we did this one, and luckily it was one where we had an arrangement. We had a joint venture with somebody, so we didn't have carrying costs. So I knew we could protect the margin. So we ended up spending $50K on this house instead of 35 to make 30. But we went in and I was like, we should replace the siding, and we pulled the siding off. Same thing. We discovered, oh man, there's holes in the siding. Like this thing's all rotted out. Like, and it wouldn't have been. I think that's one of the biggest things on these old houses. We have a lot of housing infrastructure in Knoxville. These were not built by master craftsmen. All of them.
Yeah, no.
Right, that are over 100 years old.
Yeah.
But it has good bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go. So you got to start over here. So what was when you broke the process? How'd you break
Yeah.
the process here, Corey?
Yeah, so we started to unpack it. We start realizing, oh man, this thing's going real sideways. We're gonna have to redo a lot of stuff. And I kept hitting roadblocks, right? So as we start really looking at it, all right, we're gonna frame this out. This is also in a historic overlay, right? So with that comes its own challenges. You've got extra people oversight, just more red tape to look it over. From there, as first, one of the walls I hit was, hey, well, I can't tear it down. They first told me, well, you can't tear it down. I was like, well, all right, that sucks. So how do we reframe this from the inside out? Well, you're looking at 3-4x your lumber cost at that point, because you're having to just build temporary walls to support this and then pull that out, and it just costs just skyrocket astronomically. So then that sucked. Lost a little sleep that night. So then it was, all right, well, I guess the only way out at this point is to just go build a new house. And I actually went back to say, well, can I just tear this down and rebuild it already? Because I've already put a new foundation on this, by the way. So we lifted the house and put a new foundation, and we're going to set it back and then reframe all this out. And first they were like, yeah, no problem. That's fine. You can just more or less disassemble this and then put it back together. Cool, groovy. I go sit before the board at that point, and they're like, oh, actually, you're tearing it down. Now it's new construction. So now you've got a whole nother set of guidelines you got to conform to. The home sits about a foot off of the property line on the right side. So when I bought it, I was like, I bet that HVAC's not on my property. Got it surveyed. Sure enough, it's not. It's on the neighbor's home. Okay, knew we were going to have to replace it as part of the remodel. Cool. But as they're like, well, now you're tearing it down, so now you have to conform to all new construction guidelines. New construction setbacks for windows, 3 feet. So I was like, oh man, what does that mean? Do I have to flip this floor plan?
So you've got it, for clarity, you've got to have windows on that side. You have to be 3 feet off the property line.
Property line. Yeah, fire egress, right? So I was like, well, that sinks. Does that mean I have to flip my floor plan and then I just don't have windows on the right side of the house? We could try to do some skylights, but that's going to look janky and weird. We can't do that, right? So all these things just kept happening. Month after month, I would just hit this next roadblock, lose a little bit of sleep, wake up the next day. All right, man, that sucks, but what's the next best step forward I can take, and then just do that? I think one key thing, when you have setbacks, because inevitably you do. You play this game long enough, stuff's going to come up, stuff's going to happen. The biggest thing I can say that comes out of that is just finding a way to take action. Whatever extra little step you can get moving forward in the right direction, or just in the direction, is going to be a win. Because those setbacks, it's easy to sit, cry, spiral for a couple of days, eat your feelings, right? But when I have to say, and I've been there, right? You have to, I would allow myself a fixed period of time. I don't know, a day. I try to keep it to like, 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Like, have a pity party. It's okay. You're human. But at the next point, you just have to realize, like, what's the next best step I can take? And then just take that. So even then, as we started to move forward, okay, well, I can't do windows on the right side. I'm just tearing it down. Costs are going up, holding costs. I've been holding this now since January of last year.
What would you do differently if you're looking at this deal now? Because like, right, it looked, the inside looked like, but you bought an unpermitted, half renovated house. What would you do differently?
Yeah. I would have explored taking it down or reconfiguring it earlier. I mean, really, like what also happened in this was one option was to still tear it down, and I could go build a duplex because we had a whole new missing middle housing initiative passed a year and a half ago, and that was all looking good. So even though this is a non-conforming lot, 25 feet wide, you could still put a duplex on that. I was like, well, that's cool. Maybe I'll go that. And one of the neighbors who's an investor in the neighborhood was like, telling me, he's like, bro, tear it down, build a duplex. I was like, I'm good. I'll figure this out. No, they moved the goalpost like last June, July. They moved they changed their ruling on that. So now you can't build multifamily on non-conforming lots. You can only do single family. So I lost the inability to even go like build a duplex or pivot that direction. So at this point now, was all right. Well, we're just going to go build a new house. Like the only way out is through. It means hanging out. It means more money. But I've got a GC who's helping me out. We've got architect plans, all that submitted. I mean, knock on wood, in 2 weeks I go before the city and they're going to give me a thumbs up. But we'll see, right? I guess some of those challenges that I had with the design with city, some of the red tape. So with this being an historic area and it's new construction inside the city limits, I have to go to zoning and ask for an appeal because new construction inside the city parking is 2 cars. Where am I going to put a driveway on a 25-foot wide lot? You're not, right? And still have room for the house and setback. So I have to go put a variance, get my parking dropped from 2 to 0 because it's street parking in this neighborhood. And then I've got it later on, just a few days later, I've got to go to the historic committee for them to approve all of the exterior elevations of it. And then, provided all that gets thumbs up, which I'll take all the good vibes I can get, then cool, we can start breaking ground on a new home that's going to be a 3-bed, 3.5 bath, about 1,600 square feet. It'd be a student rental for us. Right now, we're getting in the $1,100 a bedroom down there. So the upside is there. It just is a whole lot of suck to work and go through in there. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. 100%. Before that, it was the other historic home in this neighborhood. Yeah.
But what happened is I was like, Corey, we've talked about Hannah for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Like we need something new.
Need some new material.
We need some.
Trust me, I thought about it, right? If I were to walk away now, I'd take about a $90,000 loss, right? Totally. I also know, I believe in the neighborhood. I believe in the upside, that I know that it's there. I planned on, even the original home, the plan was always to just fix it up and hold it as a rental forever. Like, call me 20 years, I'd think about selling it, kind of thing. So it sucks to go through. I've thought about it like plenty of times. I also still know what upside it has. And like the home, a new home there for the 3-bed, 3.5 bath, like low 4s, 415, 4.25 all day long. So like all in, I'm going to be in the probably mid 300s when it's all said and done, between what I've already spent plus that. And I'll have a home that's brand new. It's going to last forever. I can do a cost seg study on it, which we've talked about before. We'll probably talk about later on this year. It's a great tax saving strategy. So I'll run that on this. I'll offset stuff on my taxes, and we'll keep on trucking.
Brandon, what would you, if you were looking at that property, what would you get? Any advice?
Jose seen it.
Yeah, Jose, what do you think? You saw that place.
I did see it.
Just don't buy it?
Well, it was going to be either that or I remember kind of speaking because I remember you were rushing. You're like, I want to go on it. I want to go on it. And I was like, dude, you got to talk to me and Nathan, dude. And our whole spiel was going to be like, dude, your budget is not going to work. And that was it. And then you just went on it. And so I was like, good luck. I mean, yeah, I mean, depending on, and then again, like with all these deals and stuff, it's like about how much you bought it for. So if you bought the house where it makes sense, to me, would have been to just tear it down from the beginning.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, again, if you spent because people want a lot for houses these days, so it doesn't make sense to just tear it down, even though that's the best option, and then I just pass.
Yeah, I think I'm just a big believer in being collaborative. Like, talk to people about the things that you're doing. Like, often, I was talking to someone about getting sober and how one of the biggest changes in that was like talking to other people about things that I was doing and how there's been so many times in my life I'm really saying it out loud. Very, very helpful. Like hearing myself say it out loud, I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna, like me trying to like talk myself into this thing or manage this situation, or I'm dealing with a business part that doesn't make a lot, whatever these things are. I was like, oh, I had to hear myself say it out loud. And when Corey said that, like one of the big things, like why we talk about come to Investing 101, if you haven't, because we talk about building a cash machine so you can build a wealth machine. If you do not have a cash machine that you can turn the dial on to generate active income, the losses that Corey had to cover on this would have wiped out. It took all of the
100%.
income that came from those other 3 flips.
Yeah.
And he would have had to sell assets that he holds, right? 2 or 3, we talked about this.
Yeah.
To cover
I would have to
this-
have sold 2 of my rentals to get out from this, right? So thankfully, I don't have a W-2 where if I did, I'd be screwed. I have no way to go create extra income. But because I'm 1099, I have the ability to just work harder or just work more. I can go create it and keep things moving.
Bryson, you have a question?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any pictures?
Yep.
I just would be very cautious about buying unpermitted partial work personally.
Yeah.
It just seems to never work out.
I mean, yeah, you could see outside, and if you think about it, just think about it. It should go sheetrock, studs, insulation, deck, sheathing, and then siding. You shouldn't be able to see outside. And then the other thing too is if you saw the roof, dude, I mean, it looked like it was doing the wave.
You could surf on it for sure.
So if like the roof looks like that bad, you can see outside. There's water in the crawl space. I mean,
You could swim in there
Yeah.
for sure. It was
no,
cool.
like to the steps for real.
No, and I think like we want to share this, and I appreciate Corey the fact that you're so transparent, right? And we try to be, like we said, we are not gurus. Is just like you can Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Like I like when I find out that I'm out of my depth, like I can only find that out sometimes, like when I get out of my depth. Like, no, I've been crushing it. I'm outperforming. People are telling me my numbers are fake.
Yeah.
Like, we did one this year and everyone's like, your numbers are wrong. And then Corey was like, I went ran my numbers. These are all real. Let me show you the receipts. And we came back and did it the next year of like, here's the receipts. Like when you self-manage, you can hit it. So if you have enough success, I can run into, sometimes I'm like, ooh, man, I've got confidence.
Yeah.
I can solve any problem.
For sure.
Yeah.
Went too fast, didn't consult enough like wise counsel, had been down this road before in a way with another like home in the neighborhood. So sure, I've done this before. We'll figure
I can
it out.
fix them.
I can fix it.
fix them. And he lays, I can fix them.
Yeah. It's just no. All right. But I'm willing to be, I'm always one just like much as it's easy to sit up here and like high five on like all these awesome deals. Like the reality of the business and in the industry is like there's losses, there's shit that happens, right? And I'm never gonna be one just to like high five and just live like a highlight reel. Like this is where shit goes sideways, and I'm just gonna be open and honest about it, and we'll talk about it, and trust I'll figure it out. Right?
We're gonna stay around. You got anything, Salesy?
Yeah.
I just think one big word that you said that I kind of said a lot of. You said self-manage, and that's where these numbers do make sense. Like on 3 to 4, if you have to bring a contractor, the numbers do change a little bit because you're paying someone else to do it. And then even 1 and 2, if you're having someone else do it, those numbers aren't going to reflect those that you're saying.
So I think I think I would just be even on this one he had a contractor, but I would not be self-managing a level 3, level 4. It's unless this is something you're spending a lot of time in, but if this is not in your depth, you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, Trav.
Well, the yeah, so that's it. That's on this. The issue is you had totally. The issue on this house specifically is you had totally unethical contractors. And I've seen this happen on other houses too, where there's fire damage and people are. So you had people that were screwing drywall directly into rotten termite infested boards. And so like that's the other thing is like if people are being deceptive, like just don't be a shitty person. Like frankly, it's like
And I'll say this is whenever you're going into a home, I always recommend to our clients, we have base price. Let's say it's $100,000 contract to gut and remodel this place. I highly recommend that you carry a 20% contingency cost for uh-ohs. Highly recommend 20%. Sometimes you can get away with like 15, but you need to have a rainy day fund just in case. You know, as a contractor, I hate running into change orders. It slows me down. Everybody stops making money. We like to avoid change orders as much as we can. However, stuff happens. You know, even as a fully licensed contractor, I look at hundreds of houses. If sheetrock's up, you can only see so much, right?
Yep.
But when you're cutting deals on the front end and you're looking at buying things, I would call Dave, have him do a home inspection, get a contractor out there, go slow to go fast, like Corey was talking about earlier.
and I'd just be cautious about permits. Again and again, I see like, oh, I did this work, and then I'm tearing this out because the electrician, and I got a house I've been waiting to list for like 6 weeks because he's in this stop and go dance because there's no permits, and because there's no permits, and then he's electricity, and then like, oh, yeah, you can't get your drywall done because it takes forever for a thing to dry. Like it just slowed down the whole process. So I would look at permits. Does anyone have any questions? Well, I know we went over on this, but it's a great topic. Yeah, William.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To be honest, like, not that I can recall. Like, I understand, like, I knew the exterior was trashed because, yes, you could see light. So, like, that's because everything was done inside. So I went with the naive thought that surely all of this inside the box is good, and we're just going to have to clean up stuff on the outside and re-insulate and siding and, like, sheathe it. And, like, that was the...
Like this other one you did where it was all exterior.
Correct.
Yeah, got it.
Like I was like, okay, well, I know it's older and it's the tax rate is 1899, which for Knoxville though, that's about as far back as they go. So if you go look at just our tax records, you'll see hundreds of houses that are 1899, and I just know there's no damn way in hell they built that many houses in 1899. Like when everything came like horse and buggy, or your house came in a kit off of like the rail yard, and like you and your buddies threw it together over like the course of a weekend kind of thing, right? So having some undulous flooring didn't concern me as much in the sense of, because it's old, it's going to have settled, there's going to be some stuff that's worked on, there's just only so much that would have gotten done. So no, not necessarily like that it didn't.
I think the lesson that I've taken from the project on Hannah and the project on this is like termites.
Yeah, never underestimate the power of
Yeah,
tiny
just
insects
don't underestimate.
and water.
And with when you have homes that are this old, like just termites, because that's really the secret in both
Totally.
of those. Like where the foundation was cooked, it was in the walls. It's termites.
All termites.
Termites cooked it all. Yeah, and so I just be very cautious, like especially coming from Florida where stuff's built with cinder blocks. Like being here where it's all wood, it's not fantastic. Okay, any final thoughts, Jose?
Yeah, final thoughts when it comes to pricing, because I do like that in the sense of getting started. But I say this to say that loyalty pays off with the people you work with and the vendors you use, because preferred pricing is a thing. And then also, if you use the same people, obviously, don't just let them run free. But if you use the same people, you're going to have historical stuff to base stuff off of. And then you can actually make super concrete numbers instead of just, you go, okay, this is what they charge me. And then it's just easier to gauge. And for me, I just like it more because it gives you a little more precise number. And then they're willing to work with you too. Just shopping around for the cheapest thing every time actually long term isn't the cheapest thing to do.
And I'd say don't underestimate communication styles. I've got I work with a lot of different vendors because of the industry we're in, working for lots of clients, and the people that I love and their communication style it drives me insane because we're describing the same thing, and where is the breakdown in communication? And could you answer me what the heck the problem is? It's so if you have somebody, don't underestimate how much of that is if we have good communication, I don't have to go get in my car and go drive to look at this freaking thing every single time to solve a problem. We can just talk it through. Any final words, Brandon?
Work with a team. If you're uneasy about something or you don't know, ask. Whether you call me or Corey or anybody up here on the panel or anybody in this room, we're building a community for people to help people make money.
Yes.
That's the whole goal is build relationships and community and have a team where you can go out and make something together. I look at my guys down here across the way. I can't do what I do without them, period. It takes a team. Everybody in this room together. It takes, the lenders, the realtors, the contractors, the vendors, everybody. It takes a team, and so don't try to solo it. Slow down.
And the flip side is if I'm new and I'm learning how to do these things, one of the ways to get the competence to feel comfortable in doing my own projects is hiring professionals and watching and learning, right? And I might be, this stinks. I made less margin on those 3 deals I did that year. Look what Corey did. I could self-manage, but then I don't take a loss on the 4th property. And I just think when you're talking to flippers, ask them. They lose money. People that flip at a large scale lose money on houses. It is a tough game. Mm-hmm. We have an acquisition company inside Casa. We try not to flip, right? Because just the capital, how long you have to tie your capital up for, it's just a challenging business. You can get better returns doing other things. Mm-hmm. I think we might have died. So
we did.
Okay. If you want the 4 levels of renovation, if you text 4 levels to Grid Knoxville, you can get it. And there are a couple things coming up here. There are a couple more things coming up this month. Corey, what else do we have going this month?
Yeah, cool. One, I guess give it up for Brandon. Thank you. Give it for Jose. Thank you guys. Really appreciate being part of the panel. If you want a copy of those 4 levels of renovation, go find the Grid Knoxville Instagram page, DM it as a message, the number 4 and then the word levels. You'll get that automated right back to you. Put a space between them. The number 4 space levels. You'll get that sent to your DM right then.
Awesome. We've got Grid Coffee Deals and Donuts. That is the 3rd Friday of this month.
Yep. That's going to be March 20th, 9 a.m. over at U Brew Coffee Lounge. We'll be there. Come on out. We got a good chance to network. We'll have some deals. We'll be shopping out there as well. So look forward to seeing everybody out there at that one.
Trav is doing Investing 101 on March 14th. What do we talk about in Investing 101? If you're not kind of clear of exactly where you are financially right now, where are you on your game plan towards retirement, right? You need to know where am I, a financial reality check. What is the framework for me to understand what I'm specifically building, because we have different talents, right? And where do I want to go? What's my freedom number look like? That is what we talk about Investing 101. We're going to give you a framework where you can sit down, do some homework, and we can sit down with you and give you here is the game plan to get to your financial goals. If you don't have a buy box that you can clearly articulate to somebody so you can make deals really quickly, or if you don't feel kind of clear on what you're doing financially, investing does not solve our money problems. We get to invest. It's the reward we get to do by solving our money problems. And if you're got into sales or investing because you got money problems, that's much less disciplined. I'm just going to sell more stuff to make more money. It's worked pretty well, right? Come check it out. It's been effective. I think it's a really good one. That is March 14th. I think it's one of the best classes that we teach in Grid nationally. Is that Investing 101?
That's right.
And last thing, fix don't flop.
Yeah, that's right. Well, another problem.
What's up?
Nothing. I was gonna say sorry. So no, we have a program. I have my graphic there, but I was
It's
doing
okay.
my laptop.
So what's the idea? So here's what fix don't flop is. We took it from our friend Caleb Davis. I think it makes a lot of sense. We want to save you from doing this. You have a team. We have a team. So here's what we're willing to do for anybody that is wanting to flip a house. What do we do, Corey?
Yeah. So if you want to do that, if you want to flip a house, here's where we're going to be able to help you out. Right. Our team will help you, give you the free ARV. We will help you look over your scope of work. You get access to all of our preferred contractors and vendors. We'll help you look over your financing or help you secure your financing. That also comes with a benefit on the backside too, with helping saving some money on your cleaning, like your post renovation cleaning, as well as like professional photography, because you would trust you're going to list that property with us and our sales team.
And a free design consultation. So basically, there is no reason if you need help, we will walk you through all of this. Right. And then we're going to even help you sell this thing on the back end, but we'll walk you through all on the front end. So reach out, have some resources. Thank you so much for coming out today. Corey, do we have, well, it's dead. Yeah. So,
thanks.
Tell you what we'll do. If you've posted on social, because you do that giveaway, I will draw that tomorrow and I'll reach out to somebody individually. We'll send you some swag. Sound fair? Dalton, we're going to do a photo really fast for your social media. We're going to tag you in it. He's going to come up here. What's that? We are wrapped up.
Cool. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, y'all, for coming out tonight.
Cool.
Really
hey, if you're
appreciate it.
watching from home, thank you so much. We'll see you next month. We're going to be talking about where to find the money.